Okay, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are on planet Earth. My name is Israel Ajosi. I am your host right here at the Lunar Lounge podcast. If you're joining me for the first time, it is a podcast that is more astrological centered, so to speak. But I do rope in a number of other topics, although it tends to be, again, astrological centered. But I do deal with tarot, numerology. I also do what's known as the tarot of the day, tarot of the week, tarot for the week. So I'll be pulling that out a little bit later in the show. And yeah, just looking at various topics, esoteric topics, psychology, philosophy, roping it all in. This is the kind of platform that this show essentially is about. So welcome to the show. In a moment, I will be going into the current planetary configurations. So much to talk about. We're in very interesting times, especially over the course of the next couple of months. Yeah, over the next couple of months in terms of planetary alignments. Also as well, keep your questions coming. If there aren't any questions astrologically in regards to what it is that I may be commenting on or discussing, you can also catch this podcast on any of the podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google. There's so many pod chasers. Yeah, they're on pretty much on every single podcast platform. You can listen to my podcast. I do 2 a week. So I do on Sunday and on Wednesday. Wednesday I'm live. Was a little bit late today. Sorry about that, guys. But Wednesday is live. 12:30 p.m. UK time is when I'm supposed to start. That may get pushed. I might starting at 1 o'clock. So let's see how that how that goes. So yeah, and that's every Wednesday. So but the Wednesday one is live, and then so there's also a video for that, which gets uploaded onto my YouTube channel. So you can go check that out into my YouTube channel. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Also, as well, on any of the podcast platforms where you're listening to this, don't forget to subscribe also as well. Let's get the numbers high and mighty. Yeah, I want this podcast to go viral. I suppose everybody who does a podcast, they want it to go viral, right? So that makes total sense in that aspect. So yeah, a few things I am going to be speaking about, again, more astrological centered, like I said, but there is a few things that I'm going to be connecting it to astrologically, and in terms of what's been happening also as well. Very, very serious planetary configurations right about now, also as well. So yeah, somebody's asking me about topics about Ifa. Yeah, I talk about that too. Geomancy, anything that can be considered esoteric / spiritual / philosophical, all of those things are things that I definitely discuss here. Although I know I do take on board that there may be people here who may not necessarily be or may not know so much about what is known as the Ifa. The Ifa system is a spiritual, philosophical, somewhat religious system that comes out of southern western Nigeria amongst the Yoruba tribe, and it's been actually getting a lot of attention of lately, which is quite good. I personally am happy for that, but I would say that because I am from that I'm native to that part of the world. So yeah, so that would definitely make a sense as to why I would be somewhat, I want to say somewhat biased, but you know, I try not to be biased. I try to be fair as possible. So yeah, all of those things, yes, are going to be things that will be discussed on this particular platform. So welcome, like I said, to each and every single one of you. I want to thank all of you guys who subscribed. I keep getting like the emails, and I keep getting, you know, notifications that, you know, the downloads have gone through the roof. I've got a email from Apple saying, yeah, you're topping in our charts. I was like, wow, you know, like, you know, that's happy to see. So yeah, it's going big. Thanks a lot for the support, guys. Really appreciate that. So yeah, so let's keep it going. Spread the word. Tell friends, family, and whoever else also as well. So yeah, it is what it is. So welcome to the Lunar Lounge podcast. So first and foremost, what I tend to do is bring up the chart for the moment and just talk about planetary alignments and configurations that we are, in terms of the transits, what's happening right now, and how that can be affecting us on a mundane level, what is we can expect, how we see that coming through. So I will be doing that. For those of you who are watching me on the TikTok, you won't be able to see that. But for those of you on the who watch it on the YouTube, you'll be able to see the video of the chart that I was. But you hear me anyway, because I'm going to be speaking about all these different planetary configurations. So let's go about sharing our screen and seeing what is up and coming for us, you know, right about now. There's been some, I did let you know in my last podcast, Sunday gone, and last week as well, I've been telling you guys about planets moving into signs, right? So just yesterday and day before yesterday, we had Mercury move into Leo. So I'll talk a bit, but I have spoken about that already, but I'll speak about that again. We've had Mars move into Virgo. I will be speaking about that. That's going to be offsetting. I was going to say upsetting there, but that's going to be offsetting you guys who have planets in the sign of Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So you guys are going to find this particular transit of Mars more challenging. So watch this space. I did mention also about how the chart of America, the chart of United States, yes, countries have charts too. A lot of people are not aware of that. A lot of people who are perhaps new to astrology often feel that astrology is just based on sun signs, and you know, astrology is about just grouping a number of people into 12 categories and you know, with personality traits. But astrology goes far more deeper than that. Astrology actually is connected and to everything that you can actually think of. So countries also as well also have charts too. America is a Cancerian country, but in the chart of America, because America is Sagittarius rising, we have what's known as a rising sign, and America's Sagittarius rising, and America has Mars in the sign of Gemini, you see. So like I just said, this particular Mars transit is going to offset people who have planets either in Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces, which is what is known in astrology as the mutable signs. So yeah, and I'm going to be giving out some dates in a moment as well. So for those people who are early Gemini or early Sagittarius or early Pisces or early Virgo, you are the guys who are going to be feeling the if you want to say the pinch at the moment. You guys are going to be feeling the effect of this particular transit right about now. So yeah. So there is that. I did want to talk about Neptune retrograde also as well. We've got a number of retrogrades. Neptune is retrograde, Saturn is retrograding right now. I also want to talk about the Mars-Saturn opposition. So at this precise moment, the planet Mars is opposing Saturn. So I'm going to speak about that in a moment also as well, and how that is going to have a profound effect also on planet Earth as well. So yeah, let's watch this space. Venus retrograde coming up on the 22nd, 23rd of this month. Very, very important, especially to do with relationships and money. I've been speaking about that. You can check my last podcast, which was released on the 9th, I believe, on Sunday. And also last week as well, I've been talking about the Venus retrograde. I have been saying I will be speaking about it more. My intentions on this podcast is to speak more about things in the future. So for those people who are catching the podcast recording, who are not necessarily have the advantage or privilege to listen to it live, can still keep up, so they can, even if they, after I've uploaded it, I mean, I'll upload it today, Wednesday, the 12th, but people maybe start listening it tomorrow or the day after, or at least even if you listen to it a week or even 2 weeks after, you're still up to date in terms of, what is happening and, what is going on. So I want to talk about the Venus retrograde. That's going to be very, very important, especially for you Libras, for you Tauruses, or Libra rising or Taurus rising people. Yeah, we're going to be speaking about that. And actually also for you Aries rising and Scorpio rising people also as well. So, so I'll be definitely be speaking about that as the day goes on. Like I said, a little bit later, I'll be pulling out the tarot card of the week. So you'll be getting tarot card of the week also as well. What else did I want to discuss? There's also other little things or tangents that I tend to go on also as well. Maybe, astrology related in some way, shape or form. So yeah, I will be touching on that as well. We're in the Cancer month. We know we're in the Cancer month. So hail up to all you Cancerians out there. Happy birthday to all you Cancerians out there. I want to be doing something where, like every week or so, in the month, we sort of like have an acknowledgement or to all the popular people who are of a particular zodiac sign, for example. So we're in the Cancer month. So I suppose it's great to acknowledge all the famous Cancerians that you may know out there. I know a few offhand. I know Kevin Hart is a Cancer. Mike Tyson, Cancerian. 50 Cent, Cancerian. Who else do I know who's Cancer? There's quite a number of people out there that are of the Cancer. My mind seems to have been Sylvester Stallone, I believe, is Cancer. We can acknowledge those people who have passed, come and gone. So yeah, that's something that we could always again essentially bear in mind. Who else? If you know anybody other famous Cancerians, yeah, definitely keep it coming. Any more popular Cancerians? Tom Cruise is a Cancerian. That's another Cancerian. So we can just keep throwing these Cancerian names up in the mix, just to keep it going. As it's Cancerian season, and then when we move to Leo or any other zodiac sign, we'll acknowledge those people who are of that sign also as well. The moon is in Taurus today, people. Hey, the moon is in Taurus. We got a Taurus moon. Moon is exalted in Taurus. It's the greatest moon. So while the moon is in Taurus, for those of you who are listening live, or for those of you who will have the privilege to listen to this show on the 12th, or 10, 20 hours, maybe. Yeah, well, I say, because she's going to move into the next sign, Gemini, by early hours of tomorrow morning. I think early hours, about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's UK time. She'll move into Taurus. But hey, have some cake, do some gardening, Go and connect yourself with nature. It's a great place for moon in Taurus. Indulge in the senses, do something that makes you feel grounded, secure in some way, shape, or form. So that's going to be, that's with the moon in Taurus. So the moon currently is in Taurus. She is conjunct Uranus, by the way, which could make things a little bit erratic. But hey, it is what it is. A moon in Taurus is a stable moon. Let's not forget that. So we welcome that. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Lunar Lounge podcast. This is a show that aims to inform, share, enlighten people about astrological philosophies, principles, practices, also engaged with other divination such as tarot, numerology, palmistry, Ifa, so many more. I Ching, runes. I'm going to be having a number of guests on this show, probably starting from next month. They're going to be people from different backgrounds, different genres, different philosophies, principles that are going to be joining me live here on the Lunar Lounge podcast. So watch this space. Okay, let's go to the chart of the moment. The chart is up right now on the screen for those of you who are live with me on YouTube. What it is, what is it that we are seeing here? I have to also keep an eye out on my chat for those people who may be asking questions also as well. Shout out to people there in the chat room. I see Tyrone's there. Yo, bro, how you doing? All good. Shayo's there. Pamela Smith's there. Okay, they're all they're in the building. Okay, a few people in the building here. So keep your questions coming. Okay, time to look at the chart of the moment. So, what was it I wanted to discuss? I wanted to discuss first, let's go to this Mars, planet Mars. Now, planet Mars is the planet of energy. Yeah, he gives us our energy. Bear with me a moment. I need to take a mouthful of water. For me to get into this, because it's about to get hot, right? So, Mars is the planet of energy, passion, drive. Without the Mars principle, without the Mars archetype, you wouldn't have no energy to do anything. You wouldn't be able to get up, you wouldn't be able to walk. So he represents the energy that we have in order to do something. He represents our drive. It's interesting, we use those words sometimes like around sex. So we talk about sex drive. This is Mars. This is the Martian energy, you see, known as the god of iron. He presides over iron. He rules two signs, Aries and Scorpio. And this planet is very, very crucial, as all the planets are. I know there's somewhat of a hierarchy amongst the planetary pantheons. However, all planets are important. But Mars has just yesterday moved into the sign of Virgo. Okay? When a planet moves into a sign, or when a planet is going through a sign, it will have some effects on other particular zodiac signs, depending on the configuration. For those of you who are more versed in astrology, you know what I'm talking about. But for you newbies, we can just use the words planetary alignment to make it simple. As planets transit, or as they go through different signs, they make or form particular kind of alignments. So Mars has just moved into the sign of Virgo. He's the planet of energy, the planet of aggression. It all depends how we choose to use our Mars. Mars can be violent if not expressed in the appropriate way, or if he feels blocked or stifled in some kind of way, or if he feels impotent. It can come out in a violent act. That's some way how it could be experienced. So as Mars has moved into Virgo, this is a crucial time for those of you who are Geminis, Sagittarians, or Pisces, or if you have planets, important planets, or any planet in those particular zodiac signs, okay? For those of you sun sign Gemini, we're looking at the moment because he's just moved in. So he's in the early degrees. He's in the early degrees of Virgo right now. So for those people who are early Gemini, okay? So those people who are born 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of May, yeah, early Gemini, though you guys will be the guys feeling the pinch. For those people who are also born 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of November, you guys will be feeling the pinch. My camera's just gotten a bit dark there. That's because the wind just blew my door open, so it's kind of casted some shade on me, man. What's going on? So those will be the people again who are feeling it. And those early degrees of Pisces, so those born 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of February, you guys will also be people who is feeling this particular transit right now. And with Mars, you're going to be getting a huge burst of energy. Mars is about energy. It can bring some confrontation. Those of you who are Geminis or Sagittarius or have planets there may find this transit somewhat more challenging. So be careful of, try to approach things. And the thing is with Gemini, Sag, is these are mutable signs, and these are signs that tend to act quickly or respond quickly or move quite quick because they're changeable signs. So with this Mars, basically my advice to you is you want to be thinking before acting, basically. You will be energized. You may feel more aggressive. You may feel that it's a period where you wanna, outbursts of sudden energies. This can be used in a very positive way. It can be used maybe for exercising, for gym, for those kinds of things. It can be great in those particular aspects of life, in those spheres of life. So you can use it in that aspect. So it can be used in a positive way. However, you do want to be careful in terms of how you're doing things. Try not to rush into things. I keep getting this wind that's blowing my door. How dare you, man? Because it's messing with my lights. And I ain't got no fancy camera people here. This is the show, the Lunar Lounge podcast, where you get the cosmic news raw. It is what it is. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. No edits, nothing cut out. You get in it fully. So as I was saying, with this Mars transit, for those of you who have planets in Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces, you guys are going to be feeling the energy of the Mars more at a greater rate. And again, Mars is about that aggression. So be careful how you're communicating, how you're going about things. I'm going to be having on my, it's also going to be on the podcast also as well, but on my website very soon in the next month, I'm going to be having a subscription offer where if you sign up to the subscription, it's going to be a paid for one where you pay monthly. Won't be much, but you're going to be getting a lot of perks and a lot of these planetary configurations, new moons, full moons, eclipses. You're also going to get updates in terms of your birth chart as well every month. You'll also get written reports emailed to you or sent to you as well for those people who sign up. And for these particular kind of configurations, I'm going to be going into much more detail in regards to how Mars is really affecting you in your own personal life based on your own chart, based on your rising sign and other planets that are in your chart. And I'll be able to zone in more and make it more personalized. But at the moment, it's somewhat a bit more general, but nevertheless extremely very, very useful to, you know, to know. Mars has just moved into Virgo. So you Geminis, you Sagittarians, you Pisces, especially early, yeah? So 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of May, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th of November, and 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of February. Anybody born that time, that you're the one that the Mars is definitely affecting. However, there's also a bit of a predicament here because Mars is actually opposing Saturn right now. So we've got the planet Saturn. Saturn is a planet of structure. Saturn is a planet that tends to slow things down. His purpose, his job is to slow things down. And then we've got this planet Mars that's all about energy. So when these two planets oppose each other, there's a very frustrating energy. There's a very conflicting energy. We get conflicting energies, and on a mundane level, this can manifest as, you know, issues around government, issues around governmental structures in society, the people versus the government, where tensions really rise. I know there's always some kind of tension anyway, but this is the time where we may really start to get a real huge, great, energy that is where a certain group feel blocked or inhibited in some way, shape, or form. So that is how this opposition essentially is going to be. This is not a great aspect, so to speak. It's a challenging one. It's a very, very difficult one. So for those of you who are this door, I'm going to have to do something about it because it's really, yeah, that's better. So for those of you who are Aries, Aries rising, Aries and Aries rising, Scorpio or Scorpio rising, because these are zodiac signs that are ruled by Mars. That also, those of you who are also Capricorn and Aquarius rising, okay? Or Capricorn or Aquarius, sun sign. This opposition is going to affect you most, okay? It will affect some other people on a very personal level as well, depending or based on where this particular configuration is aspecting in their own charts. But you guys are going to experience it more. You guys are going to feel the frustration. You're gonna feel like you're being confronted with issues, okay, with difficulties, with obstacles. So for you guys who are Aries or Aries rising, Aries rising, Scorpio or Scorpio rising, Capricorns or Capricorn rising, Aquarius or Aquarius rising. This particular configuration is a configuration that you guys are going to find really sort of somewhat hitting you in your face, because these two planets that are opposing each other, these are the zodiac signs which they rule. So, and they're going to be, if I just check here, I'm going to be seeing how many, for how long this is going to be going on for. This opposition is going to be, so we're probably looking about the 29th, the 30th of July before it starts to fade out. So Aries, Aries rising, Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Capricorn, Capricorn rising, Aquarius, Aquarius rising. You guys, be very mindful about this opposition. Be careful in terms of how you're taking on obstacles. This can be a bit of a heavy time for you, but nevertheless, remember, these particular challenges are what make us. They build us. They make us more wiser. They make us more experienced. It's nothing to be fearful about, although it is a very challenging aspect. And just generally on a whole, in terms on a mundane level, globally, this is an aspect that everybody will be feeling. It's just that you guys who are the zodiac signs, which I've spoken about, you guys are going to feel it more. Okay? And like I said, those of you who are early Gemini and early Sagittarius, you guys are also feeling the pinch also as well. Anybody who's got planets at early Gemini, again, anybody born on 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of May, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of November, anybody born 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of August, and also anybody born the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th of February. You guys are feeling that heaviness from the Saturn, that's for sure. Speaking of Saturn, Saturn in Pisces at the moment, somebody who I know who's very popular, Boris Johnson. For those of you who are outside the UK, shout outs to all my listeners in Europe, America, Africa, Middle East. Shout outs to you. Thank you very much for all your support. I keep getting more and more supporters from all over the globe. But for those of you who don't know who Boris Johnson was, he was one of our former prime ministers over here in the UK. Yeah, I know, right? We've been changing prime ministers a bit, you know, at this rate. You know, I'm sure I'm next up in line somewhere for prime minister, the way we've been changing prime ministers of lately. But he was one of our former prime ministers. He actually just had a baby just a few days ago. Well, his wife had a baby a few days ago. How many children is that, Boris? 10, 12? Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with it. Hey, you know, you could afford it. You've got that kind of money, so well done to you. But apparently the rumor is that they don't know how many children. Apparently the rumor is officially it's 10, but apparently they could be up to 12 or maybe even 13. But yeah, but just getting back to his chart, he is a Gemini also as well, by the way, and he is having a Saturn return. Boris Johnson is having a Saturn return, hence why he's been, and his name is still in the media quite a bit at this precise moment, because of some of the blunders that he's done. He's been, and I believe, if my mind serves me correctly, he has Saturn in his 6th house. So he's been pulled up a lot in regards of some of the work that he, or lack of work for that matter, and having to take responsibility in and around that. So he's going through his little handful of troubles right now. Not that anything will come too much of it. I wouldn't look so much in that. So yeah, that's you know, that's how it is. But yeah, but he's having a Saturn return. So how's it going, Boris? Boris Johnson, if you need an astrologer, give me a shout, man. I come and tell you what's going on. For a nice, decent fee, of course. I'm sure you can afford it. But yeah, he's having a Saturn return. Happy Saturn return. For those of you who have Saturn, so people who are aged 29, anybody out there 29 at the moment, 29, 30, you're having a Saturn return. For those of you who are 58, 59, you know, you're having a Saturn return. So happy Saturn return, folks. You know, that's a time where it's a time for stepping into, it's like you're being initiated into if you want to say, into a adulthood. Well, we could say that's you know, it's like an initiation of or your sense of authority, you know, and what it is that you need to work on. We all need to work on something, right, in our life. So yeah, that is that is Saturn. So Mars opposing Saturn at the moment. And like I said, that's going to be going on until like the end of the month. So do watch out in regards to, like I said, Aries rising, Scorpio rising, Aquarius rising, Capricorn rising. Somebody's asking me, why does it affect Aquarius rising? And I know the person who's asking this question, and you should know that because Saturn rules Aquarius. Saturn rules Aquarius, and he's in this challenging configuration. For anybody who is Aquarius rising, Saturn is your chart ruler. So it's a very important planet for you. And Capricorn rising also as well. So you are going to feel the pinch. Anytime a significant planet that in your birth chart, based on your sun sign, moon sign, or whatever, is going through a particular transit or is experiencing an aspect, it's going to be felt by whoever has that particular signature in their chart. So that's why it affects people who are Aquarius rising as well. You should know that. I ain't gonna shout out no names. I'm not gonna put you out like that on the spot, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So that was one very important configuration which I wanted to say, because it's going to be lasting for quite a number of weeks. Okay, until the end of July. That Saturn Mars is going to be is going to be, and then also as well towards the end of the month as well, Mercury is going to go into Virgo. That will be quite good for Mercury. I mean, I'll speak about that closer. But Mercury is going to also oppose Saturn also as well. But I'll talk about that a bit more closer to the time, maybe from next week. So again, people are in the know in terms of what is to come. Planetary configurations are to come. What else did I want to speak about? So I spoke about Mars in Virgo, spoke about Saturn. So those of you early degrees of the mutable signs, yeah, pay attention. Can be a very difficult time for you guys right now. I want to talk about Neptune. Neptune's retrograde. Okay, Neptune's retrograde at the moment. We have these particular periods of time where planets appear to be moving backwards. Okay, it's an apparent motion. However, symbolically, it's very, very important. Okay, they signify things. Now, when a planet is retrograde, to put it in simple terms, to put it in layman's terms, it just means we're going back over something. We're having to redo something. We're having to recheck something. One of the issues about humanity is we always seem to be on go. Nobody's on pause. Nobody's on, wanting to go back. We keep wanting to go forward. And of course, we have to go forward, right? Because everything is going forward. Time is going forward. But it's very important to retreat, to redo, or to repeat certain things. Because when we repeat certain things or we go over certain things, number one, we become more experienced. it allows us to grow. We become more understanding of things, because while we're just going and just keep on going, we miss things. So this is something, again, that is very, very important to bear in mind. So Neptune, the planet of illusion, the planet of disillusion, the planet that connects us, it refines. Neptune's job is to break down barriers. That's what Neptune does. So this Neptune retrograde, and by the way, if we have people, again, sort of like the opposite of what I was saying, with the people who are early Gemini, so people who are late Gemini. So for those of you perhaps born around 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th of June, yeah. So or we have people born 18th, 19th, 20th of December. Those people who are born 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th of March. And those people who are born 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th of September. This is for you. If you are born around this time, Neptune is essentially breaking you down. Neptune is trying to show you that you are a part of something greater. It's a great time for you right now to release. It's a great time now for letting go of things that no longer serve you. This is a great time now to perhaps start getting into alternative or perhaps spiritual things. Whatever spiritual is for you. I'm not promoting or I'm not advocating any particular lifestyle or religion. That is for you to seek. That's part of your journey. It's something that you have to be able to find out. So yes, Neptune is affecting those particular people. One of the people, again, on in terms of popularity, or one of the people that I noticed who is having this particular transit is Venus Williams, the tennis player, who recently got injured in the Wimbledon, because Wimbledon's on at the moment, and got injured at Wimbledon, had a knee injury, and she got beat, or she had to come out. Obviously, she couldn't continue. Is having this very heavy transit right about now, because she's a Gemini. She's late Gemini. So for those people who are born late, the late Geminis, yeah, late Gemini, from about like 14, 15, yeah, of June, yeah, upwards, up until about like the 20th, 19th, 20th, around that period. You guys are going to be feeling it. Also, that same date, round about, again, 14th, 15th of December, you know, and also September also as well, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th of September. You guys are going to be the guys feeling it. And also those of you, again, at 14, 15, 16 of March. Neptune is on your case. Okay. Yeah, it's also a time where you will become more sensitive to everything. Neptune sensitizes. Yeah, that's what he does. He breaks down everything to the point where you become sensitive, you become vulnerable. Vulnerability. And that was something that I strongly saw. That was something that I strongly saw with Venus Williams when she was in, I know she's been having difficulties with her illness for a number of years now, but more so, I saw a vulnerability in her that I'd never seen she's a very strong character on the court. And I saw a vulnerability which I'd never seen on her before. And this is because she's having that Neptune square her sun in Gemini right now. And many of you who are born on those dates which I've just given will also be experiencing this also as well. So yeah, I see my man Tyrone's answered your question also again there, Pam. Because Saturn rules Aquarius. Since Saturn is involved in the opposition, it will affect Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Quite rightly so. So watch that confrontation, people. So yeah, because Mars, being a malefic that he is, being a planet that can be quite, difficult, and it's an opposition. Oppositions are challenging aspects. You guys who are versed in astrology are obviously aware of that. For those of you who are new to astrology, we're talking about particular planetary alignment, and we're talking about a particular planetary alignment with Mars and Saturn that is quite challenging and is difficult. So yeah, watch this space. So that's Neptune. So Neptune is doing his thing slowly, and he's retrograding. So he's in a sign that he's very comfortable with. He's one of the somewhat co-rulers, or I would say definitely compatible with Pisces. The ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, but nevertheless, he's in a sign where he's strong, so to speak. That's safe to say. He's extremely strong because Neptune is god of the waters, god of the oceans. So he's extremely strong there. But Neptune retrograde, what Neptune retrograde is about on a global mundane level, it's really showing us that this is a time where we need to start looking at our spiritual or our compassion, our ability, because it's in Pisces also as well. So our ability to be compassionate, we really have to start looking at our spiritual understanding, our spiritual views. So this is why this is a great time to kind of like go back and reflect and meditate, and what is it that we are doing for humanity. When I say spiritual, I'm not necessarily talking about going to, whether it's church or mosque or temple or shrine or your spiritual or religious practices. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about spiritual in a sense of what benefit are we to humanity, to other people, to our brethren, and just not only that, just to life, to the globe. How are we treating the globe? There's a lot of uprising in terms of companies that are dumping toxins and waste in the oceans. This is Neptune in Pisces. A lot of that is coming up right now. The god of the waters, and also as well, this is quite interesting because on some level, this Neptune retrograde is also tying into that Titanic submarine, which fatally, went wrong. That's all a part of it, because it's all to do with the ocean. So there's a lot of focus and a lot of concentration, and there will be of concentration. We're seeing more and more protests of people. We saw one, I mentioned Wimbledon. There was a gentleman just recently in Wimbledon who, went onto the center court and started, there was another politician who got married last week over here, George Osborne, a popular politician over here. And at his wedding, as he was coming out, somebody came and, sprinkled all these colored things on him. And again, they're it's all about this, pollution and waste and toxins that they're dumping in the ocean. And I know we're trying to find better ways to live, go more green, You know, so this is, again, Neptune retrograde. So we're going to find that that's going to be more intensified in our lives. We're going to be seeing more about that also as well. Neptune in Pisces also as well will also have some effects also perhaps on the media world, television, cinema. It's going to have the effects there also too. So let's watch this space with Neptune retrograde. But that's a very, very important planet. They're all important. You know, you notice that I always say that because they are all important. Not one planet is, you know, necessarily more important than another, but there is a kind of hierarchy, if you get what I mean. So, yeah, this is what essentially is happening here with Neptune retrograde. So yeah, you know, it is what it is. And at some point, Mars in Virgo is going to oppose Neptune in Pisces, but that's not for now. And I'll keep you up to date on that and how that manifestation is going to be. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, I did want to talk about Mercury. Mercury's moved into Leo. I suppose I have spoken about that already. That's a very good place for especially you creative writers. But, you know, Mercury, god of communication, trade, commerce, you know, has now moved into Leo. So there's a great sense of power and strength. It's a great creative time. This is a great time now to really work on creative ideas. I mean, me personally, even just certain creative ideas which I've just come up with in the last couple of days, is been like, wow, why didn't I think of that before? Well, because Mercury wasn't in Leo. Now Mercury's in Leo. It's time to be creative. It's time to be inventive. It's time to bring your ideas, make them shine. Those of you who are communicators, teachers, writers, this is a time to really express what you are about with Mercury in the sign of Leo. It's really great for that. It's great for bringing knowledge because Mercury is the planet of knowledge, okay? That's his purpose, is to bring about knowledge. So while he's in Leo, it's a great place to really utilize your platform of knowledge and really bring it out into the open. And that is Mercury in Leo. It's a really great place for Mercury. And especially if you're in any kind of communicative industry, go, go, go. Okay? Go, go, go. It's a wonderful aspect to definitely be having. Venus is what I want to speak about. Venus retrograde. That's going to be well, I'm going to also, well, actually, before I go to the Venus retrograde, I want to talk about another planetary phenomena that's going to be happening before that, and that's going to be on the 13th of July. I've been speaking about this in my previous podcast, also last week also as well, but I just wanted to touch on it again. Tomorrow, for those of you who are watching me live here, of course, tomorrow the nodes are going to move from Taurus, Scorpio. North node currently is in the sign of Taurus. The south node is in the sign of Scorpio. They're going to be shifting tomorrow into the signs of Aries and Libra. So much is going on planetary-wise. So much is really going on with all these planets changing signs, planets moving retrograde, planets making very interesting configurations with each other. It's really, really an interesting time. So the North Node is about where we are going, what we are doing, where our head space is at. The North Node is where our head space is at. It's more rational, logical, where we are heading. That is what the North Node is about. Hence why it's always associated with the dragon or the serpent's head. Yeah, that's what the North Node is. The North Node is now going into the sign of Aries, ruled by Mars. What I find very interesting with this particular transit, as I did state last week, Need to move this microphone. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I do have a loud voice, so I don't know if somebody's saying it's not loud enough. Really? How loud do you want it? Or because I can get really loud. So yeah. But I don't mind turning up the volume. What I find really interesting is that Taurus and Scorpio, where the nodes are at now, are both ruled by Venus and Mars. And when they shift, it's going to go into Aries and Libra, which are both ruled by Venus and Mars. So it's like we're getting a similar theme continuing, but just being reversed. And like I've said before, this is going to have a big major part to play in the war. The war that's happening right now in Ukraine. I feel that is something that we need to pay very close attention to. So over the course of the next 18 months, while the North Node is in Aries and the South Node is in Libra, here is where we should be getting things coming to an end, peace treaties, some kind of diplomatic negotiations that puts this whole thing to rest. How that's going to happen, don't ask me. And by the way, Putin is a Libra. Putin is Libra. He's a Libra. Okay. So I think that's quite interesting. I think Zelensky's Gemini. So that's quite interesting, especially with this Mars thing that's offsetting the Geminis and the Sagittarians and Pisces right now. So I think he's a Gemini. Somebody quote me there, or I might pull up his chart in a moment and see. I've got his chart right here actually, Zelensky, but yeah, I don't mind pulling that up just to double check what zodiac, but I'm sure it's Gemini, something along that line. But some of you guys can look it up if and quote me if I'm wrong. But I do know Putin is a Libra, and he's got Scorpio rising. Very fitting, hey? Now that's a man who ain't gonna budge so easily. So it's quite interesting. So these nodes, North Node going into Aries, so it's telling us where our headspace is at, and South Node in Libra, which is Venusian, which is more negotiating, it's more love-orientated, peace-orientated, but that's to do with where we are coming from. It's showing us a resource that we have. So we have to be assertive in bringing about peace. That's what this nodal change is about. The nodal change is about being assertive, Aries, moving quickly, moving assertively, moving bravely, because it's Mars-ruled sign, about bringing South Node in Libra, the balance, and fairness, equality, and peace. That's what this nodal change is about. And we're going to be dealing with this. You're going to see how things are going to shift in society in regards to whether you want to say peace treaties or negotiations. There's going to be a lot of negotiations happening. I mean, there's always negotiations, but we're going to see a huge concentration of negotiations with this nodal change, with the North Node moving into Aries and the South Node moving into Libra. So we still got Mars, Libra, Mars, Venus ruled signs at work. So let's not forget this. Very, very crucial indeed. So that's going to be happening on the 13th of July, and the nodes are going to stay there for 18 months. Okay? The nodes are the points that align the Earth and the Sun in positions where we experience eclipses. And we've got 2 eclipses towards the end of the year, so I don't need to talk about them now. Well, in later months, October, November time, we will be experiencing that. So yeah, let's hold and watch this space. So yeah, those are the nodes changing signs. What else is it that I wanted to speak about? Yes. Hello, people. I do like this one. On the 17th, Monday, 17th of July, we got a new moon. New moon in Cancer. And this is a good one. Why? Because the moon is the planet that rules Cancer. So she's going to be in her own sign. Unfortunately, it's a new moon. So she's going to be, combust at some point. But it's still a new moon. She's still going to be quite strong. With the new moon, it's normally the sun that has the power. With the full moon, it's the moon that has the power. That's how it goes. But nevertheless, it's still going to be a nice new moon. So that's going to be on the 17th of July. So people, right now, between now, if you're listening to this podcast, before the 17th of July, the moon is currently waning, meaning that she's decreasing in light. You will notice that if you go out at night, you see the moon is smaller and smaller and smaller in size, decreasing until on the 17th, she will totally disappear. On the 17th, you will see no moon in the sky. I don't care where you are on the globe, it will be impossible to see any moon in the sky because she's going to be blocked out by the sun. She's going to be next to the sun, so unable to be seen. And that will be on the 17th of July. We're going to have a new moon. I'll actually give you the time when the new moon is going to be. Looks like it's going to be like afternoon time. I'm using GMT time here, so do bear with me. But the new moon is going to be exact on 17th of July at 6:32 p.m. UK time is when we're going to be having a new moon in Cancer. Okay, new moon in Cancer at 24 degrees of Cancer. We got a new moon there. Great time because the moon rules. So it's going to be very sensitive. Now, new moons are to do with, it's what it says on the 2:10. It's a new moon. It's a new cycle, new beginning. Great to start new projects, new enterprise. You want to start something new. You want to kickstart something new. You want to initiate something new. You want to be doing it around a new moon period or just after a new moon period, maybe a day or two after the new moon period. That can be a great time for you to, really initiate that. I would advise. Want to start a new relationship, want to go out on a new date. You perhaps want to do that around that particular time. Okay, so initiating something new, starting something new, that is good. In the Islam religion, you notice that they start on, the Ramadan on a new moon. Okay, there are many religious or spiritual, if you want, times of the year that are in sync or used on a new moon. The Chinese New Year around January, February every year is on a new moon. The new moon in Aquarius marks the beginning of the Chinese New Year. The Jewish New Year, okay, Yom Kippur, okay, Rosh Hashanah, again, is a new moon, okay. So religious festivals are always tied in to some new moon or full moon period during the year. So quite interesting. So that's new moon coming up on the 17th. Great time. A time to, it's going to be a very sensitive one because it's going to be in Cancer. Okay, it is going to be in Cancer. So it's going to be very, very sensitive. Again, like I said, in a few weeks' time on my website, I'm going to be having a subscription option. So for those of you who do subscribe, there's going to be a small fee. It's not going to be too much, maybe like £10, 10 pounds. There may be two types, but I'm trying to just have maybe just one So it can be kind of fair, maybe like £10 a month or something like that, or £12 a month, where every month you'll be going to get an update in terms of how you're being affected, what planets are being affected in your chart based on every new moon, every full moon, every month. So and also other updates as well. So that is going to be, you're going to be having those perks. But on a if you want to say a more general global level, this new moon is actually a particular great time to initiate or to start something new. Okay, you want to initiate, you want to start something new, you want to do it just after the new moon. And then for that week, so from like the 17th to like the 25th of July is going to be a great time to perhaps initiate something new. Okay, so new moon coming up, new moon in Cancer. And then a few days after that, on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of July, on the 22nd, 23rd, Venus will go stationary, meaning she's standing still. 23rd, 24th, she's going to start to move retrograde. So here we have Venus. Here, for those of you who are live, or for those of you watching the video on the YouTube, you can see here where I'm moving the cursor here. This is Venus, and she's got the R, meaning she's moving retrograde. This is a time where Venus is the planet that represents our pleasure life, our relationship life. Venus is to do with money, our financial, our sense. She deals with places and things that make us feel secure, where our sense of security is. That is Venus. When Venus goes retrograde, remember I said earlier on about the Neptune retrograde. When planets go retrograde, it's about really redoing something, having to focus on something. It's almost like the planet's telling us, hey, you've missed something. Go back and check it out, or redo it again. I often find people or just us as human beings generally, we find retrogrades difficult. And we find them difficult. Why? Because we are creatures of habit. We like to do the same thing. We like to keep the same pattern. As they say, familiarity breeds content. So we become, because we're looking to be content in some kind of way. But this, in some kind of way, actually makes things very difficult. This is where we can face many obstacles or challenges. So the Venus retrograde is really saying we need to focus on our values. Venus is about our values, our preferences, our tastes, whatever that is in our life. For those of you who are more versed in astrology, of course, wherever Venus is in your chart or in your birth chart and wherever she's transiting, those are the places where you're going to be, you're going to be focusing on. But with this Venus retrograde, those of you who are Taurus or Taurus rising, and those of you who are Libra or Libra rising will feel the effects more of this Venus retrograde. Okay? I repeat, Taurus rising, Libra rising will feel the effects of this Venus retrograde more. It's going to be more concentrated. Why? Because those signs are the signs that are ruled by Venus. And Venus retrograde is telling us to reestablish our values. This is a time where people often, generally, you'll often hear about people trying to rekindle their old romances, get back with their exes. I mean, Venus is already slowing down. I'm already getting texts and people saying, oh, got a text from my partner, or that kind of thing. Around when Venus is retrograde, if I get a pound, if I had a pound for every time Venus went retrograde, and people have come to me, friends, clients, students, whatever, and are saying, "Oh, my ex-partner texts me, my ex-girlfriend, my ex-boyfriend, wanting to get back, or they want to speak, or they want to hook up," I would be richer than Bill Gates. All right, I'm exaggerating. Maybe Elon Musk. Who's richer between them two anyway? Who God knows. But yeah, just joking there. But I'll be, if I did get a pound for that, I would be extremely rich. That's for sure. I'd have a good couple thousands in the bank just for that. It's enormous. It works like clockwork. And that's because there may be something in our love life, in our relationship, that we need to go back over, because that's what Venus symbolizes. Also, as well, money, finances. Venus is connected with the finances. So it can be a time where you experience some kind of financial difficulty, where you're having to kind of not spend as much, perhaps. Again, Venus retrograde, where you've got to reanalyze your values. Remember what you value. Because if you go into a shop and you see a dress or a pair of shoes which you value, and Venus is retrograde, matter of fact, to give you some little tips, try to avoid buying clothes during a Venus retrograde. I repeat, try to avoid buying new clothes during a Venus retrograde. Try to avoid spending huge amounts of money during a Venus retrograde. Try not to do big shopping during a Venus retrograde. It's not to our advantage. You will often find that you will buy things that you've paid too much for. However, it can be a bit of an advantage with Venus retrograde to buy something old, maybe antique or secondhand clothing. You may get a good bargain there. So a little tip there. Again, Venus retrograde, you can get a bargain there. You can get you can get an advantage there. So do watch out for that with the Venus retrograde. Okay. In terms of relationships, if you're hooking back with partners from the past, okay. But what my advice to you is, don't, because sometimes we're in a relationship, sometimes relationships are toxic. Don't just go back, "Oh, I love him. Oh, she loves me. This is our chance to rekindle." Venus retrograde is really getting you to go back over what it is, your values in this relationship, reanalyze it, relook at it. You see, that's what Venus retrograde essentially is about. Any planet that's going retrograde, like I said, it's about reanalyzing, redoing. It's about reading. So it's about going over. So yes, it may be providing some kind of opportunity for you. It can be providing an opportunity for you to get back. But before that can happen, there has to be some reanalyzing, looking at your values, to see that you're well balanced. Is this the relationship for you? You're re-evaluating your values. That's what it's about. Okay, so that's the Venus retrograde. So that's going to be happening 23rd, 24th of July. She retrogrades for 40 days. 40 days and 40 nights. Where have we heard that one before? Okay, no pun intended. So yeah. Somebody's letting me know here in the chat, Gemini rising 25 degrees right here. Okay. So Gemini rising 25 degrees, that means Neptune is squaring your ascendant. Yeah, you're feeling confused yet? It's going to be there for quite a while. It's going to be going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, Neptune's at 27 now. So, but over the course of, well, practically the next year, you're going to be feeling that, feeling a little bit confused. Where am I going? What am I doing? It's the ascendant also as well. So that's your body. So be very careful of any kind of external stimulation, medication. Stay away from alcohol, drugs, all of those kinds of things. Yeah, be very, very mindful with Neptune squaring your ascendant. That can bring sometimes illnesses, sicknesses, delusion, and things of that nature. So yeah, watch out for that. How do I pronounce your name? Is it R Brambilla? R Brambilla? Okay. Well, yeah, you got Neptune. You got Neptune there on that angle. So that's the Venus retrograde. And I'm sure I'm going to be speaking more about it next week again. I'll be talking more about the Venus retrograde also as well. Because she's going to be coming back, squaring Uranus. She's going to become a morning star. All of those things I will be speaking about more about Venus. So that's just a little bit about Venus, just to bear in mind. It's about your relationships, but it's about reevaluating your relationships. What is this really about? Is this the relationship for me? Is this the relationship that I can see going forward? Try not to get stuck in relationships that you've outgrown, that are toxic. They're not good. They may feel good now in the moment, but in the future, it's not. Yeah? Try to think more long-termism, not short-termism. So what Venus is doing by going retrograde is she's giving us a chance to be able to reflect and to go back and to look at the nature of our relationships and like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? Where can I grow? Where can I reestablish like values, you know, and so on and so forth. And so that when she does go direct, when we all start to move direct, we've created a better foundation for us in the future. That is what the Venus retrograde essentially is about. So that's the Venus retrograde. I think I'm gonna leave it there in terms of the planets, planetary configuration. So I don't think there's anything else to discuss. Yeah, so I will stop the screen. So that's the planetary news, planetary updates for today, for this week. What I do want to do is what I do every week, is to have a tarot card of the week. It is that time. What else was it I was going to talk about? I was going to mention something else, but it's actually skipped my mind. I need to start writing things down. So I'm on it. Just pulling out my tarot cards here. I'm going to give them a little shuffle and then pull out tarot card of the week. Tarot card of the week, people. Okay. You know, tarot card of the week. Yeah. People, remember, I'm on all podcast platforms. I want to thank each and every single one of you people who have subscribed, downloaded, listened to my podcasts. I believe, I'm not too sure if the Apple podcast has this. I need to check that. I keep saying that. I do know that the Spotify platform does allow you to leave comments. Please leave comments. If not, you can leave comments or questions on my YouTube channel. They will all be posted wherever I post, whether I post on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. If I upload on YouTube or on my podcast as well, I will put all the information there where you can, you know, where you can, you know, comment basically and make suggestions or ask questions. So that availability is there. Just as people who right now on the or you know, on the YouTube. I'm looking at the comment section here. So if you're wondering why is he looking over there, I'm looking over there because that's where I can see the comment section for those people on the YouTube. So so do leave comments, questions, suggestions, all welcome. Just try not to be abusive. I don't mind a little bit of constructive criticism. That's fine. I can take that on the chin. Yeah, there's no qualms there, no worries there. But yeah, keep it nice, keep it simple, keep it easy. No room for abuse here. If you get abusive or nasty in any way, you got to go. Okay, that's how it is. We ain't tolerating that here. No prejudice. No, it's family here. It's the Lunar Lounge. It's the Lunar Lounge. The moon is significant for family. Okay, so we are family here. Whether you're listening on the podcast, whether you get to join in live or whatever, we are family here. There is no prejudice in any way, shape, or whatsoever. So I'm going to pull out the tarot card of the week. Like I said, I was going to mention something else, but it seems to have skipped my mind. But yeah, but keep the questions coming. No problem. Just checking here to see if there is any no more. Okay, no more comments. You guys seem to be quite quiet there also as well there on TikTok as well. Not too many people there, but hey, people have been coming in and out throughout the course while I've been here. I think people just want, like with TikTok, it's more like, give it to me now. Give it to me quick. You know, there's no time for waiting around. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the card of the week. So what's it going to be, people? Drum roll. And I shall pull out the card of the week. I need to start getting some sound bites, right? You know what I mean? Some drum rolls. This show ain't fancy like that. Well, not at the moment. But it will get to that. You know, we got to build. We got to start someplace. That's what it is. Woo-hoo. Well, the card of this week, people, is the devil. You know what they say, better the devil you know than the one you don't know. So who is the devil? We got the devil card of the week, people. The devil. The devil you know than you don't know. So what does this mean? Okay. Devil card is the card that has come out for you people. This is the card of the week. So what does this mean right here at the Lunar Lounge? Over the course of the week, and I suppose it kind of ties into what I was saying about the planetary alignments. What this card essentially is about, it's about responsibility. It's about taking more responsibility of your life. So the card of the week essentially for all of us, if you're listening to this on the podcast, whether you're listening on TikTok, YouTube, wherever I'm streaming from, or the recording on the podcast platform where you're there, this is for you. The idea of astrology and tarot is based on the principle that there are no coincidences. Everything is connected in some way, shape, or form. The fact that you are listening to this, the fact that you may have accidentally found this channel or this podcast is not a coincidence. If somebody suggested it to you or you stumbled across it, it's not a coincidence. There is something that you're here, that the universe has pulled your energy in here, to witness. So what this card essentially is about, it's telling us that over the course of the next 7 days, because remember, I do the card of the week every Wednesday. I pull a live tarot card out every Wednesday, okay? It's live. I'm here live, okay? Although people may be listening to this podcast, at a later time or a later date, but it's live. So this tarot card I've just pulled out right now, the devil essentially is indicating that we need to take more responsibility for our actions. It's indicating here that it's a card that is also alluring or connected with temptations. When I say temptations, I'm talking about temptations that are inappropriate. It could be a number of things. We all have bad habits. It could be drinking too much, smoking too much, eating too much, dabbling in inappropriate behavior, too much sex, it can be various activities. And what this card is essentially saying is that we need to be more disciplined and we need to be more responsible for our actions, because if not, there is a danger where these habits or these inappropriate behaviors or negative behaviors, quote unquote, can be things that enslave us. And we could be put in a position where we are not in control of our lives. Something is controlling us. Okay, this card is also a card of blockage, you know, on some kind of level. Feeling inhibited, feeling blocked, you know, this is what it's about. So this card is saying, take responsibility. That's what it's about. Take more responsibility is what the devil is saying about. Own up. Stop blaming others for your wrongdoings or misfortune. Stop saying, oh, it's not my fault. It's his, it's the government, it's her, it's my parents, it's my brother, it's you know, sod all that. Get away from all that. It's saying that you are responsible for your actions. Okay? So get more in control. Don't become the slave. Don't be bound, which is what the chains essentially are about. Yeah, I do tarot classes also as well. I'm going to be starting some very soon for those of you who may be interested in wanting to know more about tarot, how to read the tarot, how to utilize the tarot as a tool in your life. So that's the tarot card of the week. I'm going to be I'm going to be uploading the next podcast on Sunday. It's twice a week, this podcast, the Lunar Lounge. However, the one on Sunday just gets uploaded. It's not available on YouTube. There's no video available on YouTube, or you won't be able to listen live. It's not a live, or the live platform is not available. So it just gets uploaded. So that you have to listen to on, like I said, it's available in any of the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pod Chasers, Pod Addicts. You know, there's so many pod platforms out there, as you all know. I'm on Google. I said Google Player. What's the other one there? Global. I'm on Global. I might be on that as well. I might be on Heart Radio and Global also as well. So, but it's pretty simple now to get any. I'm on Amazon. How can I forget Amazon? I'm on Amazon Music. You can find me on Amazon Music, people. And again, you can leave comments there. You can put suggestions there. All welcome. So people, follow me, do subscribe, do support. Again, moving up, and away. Tarot card of the week. Take responsibility, people. Own it. Do not be controlled by any of the temptations that we may come into. You make sure that you are in control, okay? And it's not controlling you. That is what essentially this card essentially is about. I'm going to end the show here, I believe, unless there's anything else. I'm not seeing any more questions coming in, no comments coming in. Thank you, guys. Thank you for you guys who have subscribed. I need more subscriptions. Keep hitting that subscription button, man. You see the subscribe button right there. So keep hitting it. Keep subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your folks. Podcasts goes up twice a week, Sundays. and Wednesdays. I call the Sunday one, even though Sunday is the beginning of the week, I tend to refer to that one as the midweek one, but it is what it is. But the main podcast essentially is on a Wednesday. Why? Because that one goes live. The first one I ever did was on a Wednesday. So that's like that. That's my beginning of the week for the podcast. It's a Wednesday. So it is what it is. Thanks to you guys who took your time to join in, whether on the TikTok, whether on YouTube. Really, really appreciate that. And yeah, let's just keep on moving. We'll be here again next week with many other topics, I guess. There was something I was going to say today, but it's just vanished. Neptune. Bring it back. That's what happens. But hey, it is what it is. No worries. If anything, if I remember it, I'll put it on the Sunday podcast. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys, on the live. Really appreciate that. I will be uploading or be back again on Sunday the 16th. Would that be? Yeah, 16th. Sunday the 16th. So look forward to you there. Look forward to joining you live again next week. Again, it's the Lunar Lounge podcast. My name is Israel Ajosi, and I am out. Thank you.